Ancient Egypt, a land that has left centuries of untold truths buried deep beneath the sands, filled with myths and legends that have made Egypt a great wonder of the ancient world. As its last and perhaps most renowned pharaoh, Cleopatra, she saw 3,000 years of civilization reach its final chapter. Evidence of her life has been personified through sources varying from Roman propaganda to Shakespearean tragedy, imprinting an image on society's mind of a self-indulgent temptress who used sex and seduction to gain power and wealth. Can today's experts uncover the truth behind her legend?
Misrepresentation throughout history has misguided society's concept of the role she represented to the ancient Egyptians. These project inaccurate appearances of a seductive harlot, all too consumed with maintaining power to care for her citizens.
To the Romans, she was a foreign whore hell-bent on invasion. To the Middle East, a magnificent liberator whom they admired. However, to the Egyptians, she was most probably a live goddess, a universal mother, and a freedom fighter that came to liberate them from oppression. Cleopatra not only assumed these roles, she self-proclaimed herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis, one of the most powerful deities, healer of the sick, and god of motherhood, whom legend has it gave birth to the heavens. To the Egyptians, this meant Cleopatra was a symbol of indispensable roles, evidently dissimilar to the portrayal of a corrupt Egyptian queen, riddled with self-indulgence.
He will rule Egypt, and whatever part or all of the world that we give him.
Primary evidence of Cleopatra's history exists only within sources incorporating the two Roman men with whom she dealt, Mark Antony and Julius Caesar. Sources such as Plutarch, Suetonius, and Horace shed light on an otherwise omitted personality of ancient history. Our experts explored the sources.
Each exhibit exceedingly xenophobic attitudes regarding the Queen. Plutarch's life of Antony explains the true fear of Cleopatra. Plutarch states that upon first meeting Cleopatra, she used her charms and sorcery to bring Antony to his feet. Using descriptive language over-exaggerates the pharaoh by implying her undeniable charm was in fact a form of invented witchcraft.
Plutarch therefore emphasizes his hostility towards Cleopatra. Consequently, the likely accuracy can be questioned, due to his not only Roman heritage, but also his gender-biased view that women should not procure a formidable status. Similarly, Suetonius projects the love affair between Cleopatra and Caesar as scandalous, due to his marriage to Calpurnia of the time, but also his foreign status. He comments that there is a man to every woman, a woman to every man. After enduring years of civil war, these sources offer a unique insight into the thoughts and opinions of Romans, all too familiarized with civil warfare.
Years of enduring internal dissension caused the Romans' desire for stability and reconciliation to make a scapegoat out of Cleopatra.
Once again, we find primary sources that are tainted in their viewpoint of Cleopatra through their own concept of the world. The significance of Cleopatra to Egyptian civilization has been overlooked throughout history. Her astonishing resume of achievements and pure intelligence almost always questioned. Horace, who refers to her foreign protection policies as a flock of contaminated men, whose goal is the ruin of the capital.
Horace implies fears of an impending invasion, but suggests she is oblivious to her lack of intelligence. Horace, however, forgets to acknowledge her ability to speak 9 different languages, including fluent Egyptian.
Her cohesive intelligence enabled her to implement foreign policies by directly speaking to her people on regular journeys up and down the Nile. Her 21-year reign as Pharaoh of Egypt would suggest stability of power, unlike the description attributed to her by the Romans.
As a consequence, it was the patriotic queen's undying desire to protect and free Egypt from a great financial oppression that pushed her alliances, and in doing so, she succeeded to restore all of the Ptolemies' fabled empire. Cleopatra's romantic alliances with both Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are portrayed as her ambitious endeavours to overthrow Rome and create a worldwide Hellenistic dynasty. However, these assumptions rely purely on the susceptibility of Roman propaganda. Egyptologist Gunther Holub supposes
Cleopatra never actively desired to establish a worldwide Hellenistic dynasty, and that her foremost concern remained the defence of Egyptian sovereignty and the Ptolemaic dynasty.
Modern society's perception of Cleopatra has been influenced, obscured, and manipulated via popular culture. Cleopatra's presented persona in films such as Cleopatra and Antony and Cleopatra depict an intriguing and compelling character that we prefer to see her as. There's something impending about it, but it's most unfair. Her true accomplishments have been buried too deep beneath the version of the victors. Commonly deemed as the greatest writer in the English language, Shakespeare first published the play Antony and Cleopatra in 1623, further implicating the biased perception of unreliable Roman sources, almost drawing his plot from Plutarch's Life of Antony.
Age cannot wither, nor custom stale her infinite variety. Other women cloy the appetites they feed, but she makes hungry where most she satisfies.
This erroneous exposé of Cleopatra's history has created its own version of her biography that humanity deems realistic. Cleopatra has proved to be one of the most misinterpreted leaders of history. Her role as near goddess and protector of the Egyptian people, combined with her position as a key player in events which would shape Western civilization. However, the accounts of Cleopatra by Plutarch, Horace, and Suetonius were a blend of lies, exaggeration, and misogyny that have passed into our popular culture. In fact, Cleopatra was a determined leader, brilliant politician, and great scholar, as well as a symbol of defiance against a powerful Roman Empire. Her unfair betrayal in history says more about society being influenced by Roman culture than it does about her determination to keep her country independent and her place in history unchallenged. Join us next time as we begin the search for Mark Antony.